Noyes Laboratory was originally built in the 1900s and hasn't seen a full upgrade since the 1920s. Dr. Welly has been with All Creatures Animal Hospital since 1992. She originally went to veterinary school at the U of I and hasn't left Champaign-Urbana ever since. The early science system makes up 15% of what will be Blue Waters. The NCSA and CRAE plan to use the system before the full installation of Blue Waters in late 2012. At least a dozen people have been confirmed dead from a storm system that spawned tornadoes across parts of the Midwest. One of the hardest hit areas was southern Illinois in the town of Harrisburg. Let's take a look at the temperatures in the area. Right now it is 80 degrees in Kankakee, a cooler 74 degrees in Mattoon, and 80 degrees here in Champaign-Urbana. We actually broke the record high for today. That was set in 1995 with 76 degrees. The average high around this time of year is usually much cooler at 50 degrees. Workers started construction at Noyes Laboratory this week. Some chimneys were torn down last year, but the full exterior upgrade is now beginning. Some of the major work to be done is redoing the mortar, replacing windows for better energy consumption, and extending a guttering system on the northwest side.
It's good to get it structurally sound, so we know that it's good. The other thing is the exterior of this building shows many cracks in the mortar joints and the bricks.
Noyes Laboratory was originally built in the 1900s and hasn't seen a full upgrade since the 1920s. Wooldridge says they will make sure to retain as much of the historic appearance as possible. They'll accomplish this by using the original brick on the chimneys and redoing the mortar in the same color. Altogether, the project will cost approximately $2 million.
They now have a good, solid company that's manufacturing these windows back to the historic look and feel of the building. So that's really helped tremendously on keeping the cost down.
Wooldridge emailed students and staff to let them know of any restricted access to the building. One inconvenience to some students is the closure of all of the bike racks.
That was actually a little problem for me because I parked my bike here on Monday and they cut it, and I had to deal with the problems of getting it back.
One of the few major disruptions to instruction is when windows will be replaced in the classrooms. That is planned to take place in July and to finish before the academic year begins. All construction at Noyes Laboratory is expected to be completed by the spring semester. In Urbana, Sam Cargill, UI7 News. There's an animal hospital that has been serving the community now for 20 years. One of the owners says after attending the U of I, she's enjoyed working in the community too much to leave. Mary Welly didn't arrive in Illinois until her family moved to Chicago her senior year. She went to the U of I for her undergraduate degree, where she worked with a variety of animals and worked in a few private clinics.
That combination of specialization at the university and then experiences in private practices really had us ready to practice when we graduated.
Welly was originally interested in general medicine. She volunteered at Carle Hospital, but found that a strong relationship between doctors and clients was lacking.
And in veterinary medicine, in general practice, we really have the opportunity to be involved from puppyhood till old age and really get to see animals in health and in illness and with all kinds of special needs.
Dr. Welly has been with All Creatures Animal Hospital since 1992. She originally went to veterinary school at the U of I and hasn't left Champaign-Urbana ever since. Gabrielle Coyle has worked with Welly for 9 years. She says Welly has a good instinct in keeping the animal's best interests in mind.
She also pays attention to what the owners need. If they're not ready to make a decision, she gives them the options that will make their pet most comfortable until they're able to make a decision.
Outside of the animal hospital, Welly also has a family to take care of, including 3 daughters, 3 cats, and 1 dog. Welly says the best thing about the Champaign-Urbana area is that she sees clients everywhere she goes, which for her is what makes a community. In Urbana, Sam Cargill, UI7 News. In other university news, the supercomputer Blue Waters is one step closer to completion. We take a look inside the Pettiscale building to see how far along the project is. The vendor for the supercomputing project, CRAE, has dropped off the first set of hardware for Blue Waters. This is good news for university physics professors Klaus Schulten's research.
But now with Blue Waters we can really describe a really important natural assembly of proteins in the cell.
Part of Schulten's research, aided by Blue Waters, will take a look at the release of genetic material due to the HIV virus. Only a computer simulation this detailed can study this process further. Some researchers may be able to start their research through the supercomputer this month now that the first phase, otherwise known as the early science system, has been installed. The early sign system makes up 15% of what will be Blue Waters. The NCSA and CRA plan to use the system before the full installation of Blue Waters in late 2012. This is much further along than with Blue Waters' previous vendor. IBM had only deployed preliminary hardware for testing purposes before pulling out of the project in the fall. Now that the project is back on schedule, the university can claim bragging rights for hosting something that can't be found anywhere else in the Big Ten at the very least.
So we think that just the fact that we were awarded this grant to build and deploy this supercomputer really is recognition of the strength that the University of Illinois has in computer science, in computer engineering, in high-performance computing, supercomputing, in all of these areas of computational science where people are going to be really using the supercomputer. We think that this means that people recognize that the University of Illinois is really a leader in these areas.
The full implementation of Blue Waters is expected to take place in late 2012. The project will then be monitored for its average lifespan of 5 years while evaluating a potential expansion or additional grant funding. In Champaign, Sam Cargill, UI7 News. Taking a look across the country, we're actually much warmer than it is in Miami. Right now they're sitting at 73 degrees. Grooming your pet takes time and may be messy. Good thing there are professionals who are eager to lend a helping hand. UI7's Krista Jenkins gives us the ins and outs of pet grooming. And now with a look at your local forecast, tonight will be mostly cloudy with a possibility of showers with a 30% chance of thunderstorms with a low of 58. Winds will be south-southwest at 6 to 10 miles per hour. If you're in the market for a new house, Michael Jordan just put his on the market. But if you want to be just like Mike, it's going to cost you. For those of you traveling, here's some spring break temperatures and popular vacation destinations for Monday. In South Padre, it's warm and windy. Puppy kindergarten classes must have been a blast to sit in on.
They were so cute.
Rabbits are common pets, but cold-blooded creatures are proving to be cuddly too. UI7's Lauren Stewart has the story of a Champaign man who loves his scaly critters just as much as his floppy-eared friend. It would do the same to me too.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm more of a furry friend kind of girl.
Yeah, here with us today is a bunny from Sailfin. He doesn't have a name yet, but we're thinking maybe Bunnicula after the vampire bunny from the book.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only bunny name that I ever actually have really heard of. But I think it's so adorable, and you can see the eyes are like red, but then they also have a little bit of blue or white.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Absolutely. And just with Easter a week ago, I'm still in the bunny mood a little bit. Friday is the annual unofficial St. Patrick's Day event in Champaign-Urbana. Unofficial is a day-long drinking festival that started at the U of I 16 years ago.